But let's start with the BetMGM game of the week. Knoxville, Tennessee, Neyland Stadium, dark mode activated for the Vols. Oklahoma is a 3.5-point dog rolling into this one. 7:30 Eastern, ABC, playoff elimination game status for both sides of this. Both Oklahoma and Tennessee with 2 losses. For Tennessee, don't look now, but if you win this game, staring down the barrel of New Mexico State, going to Florida now, which you haven't won at Florida since Bush was president, but it is what it is in Vanderbilt. For Tennessee, if you got that killer instinct, man, all bets are off. It is all right there in front of you. You got to get past Oklahoma, but if you get past Oklahoma and that defense, I don't think there's a tougher task ahead of you, defensively speaking, than this game right here. So we're about to find out a lot about the championship medal of a one Tennessee volunteer football program. Now, Oklahoma, it's all about steadying yourself. You took a punch, right? You took a punch from Lane Kiffin and co. at your place. Not good vibes. But here's the thing. Champions, they don't stay down. They get back up. Make sure they have their wits about themselves. There's a great quote from one of my favorite movies, Kicking and Screaming. And Will Ferrell gets punched by Mike Ditka in the face. Not important why, but he gets punched by him in the face. He says, you know what? I took a punch from Iron Mike Ditka. And I wobbled a little bit, but I did not go down. That's Oklahoma here. Took a punch from Lane Kiffin. Wobbled a little bit, but you can't go down because you're on the road against a very gettable Tennessee defense. Oklahoma and John Mateer, the offense has been a little bit lackluster, to say the least. You'd like to think they get right in this spot, don't you? I understand we had the whole deal with John Mateer's hand, and Dr. Shin's in there doing surgery and getting my boy right, putting hardware in his throwing hand. This is the spot where there's going to be some throws downfield available to you. Oklahoma, this Tennessee secondary is giving up 281 a game, dude. 281 a game. If there was ever a get-right spot, this is the spot. Now, a big question we had going into last week was, can Oklahoma find a way to run the football? I don't need you to have the running game be something that you just lean on and just say we're going to go for 200 a game here. This is how we win the game, by running the freaking football, become a 4 yards in a cloud of dust football team. I don't think that's who you become, but I need something you can depend on. Because if I can just have Tennessee honor the run game a little bit here, I told you, there's plays downfield already. Think about how much more wide open those windows are when that safety has to think about tackling a big Xavier Robinson. Xavier Robinson was a baller last week for you, over 100 yards. I think he's the guy that you got to roll with here. If you're Ben Arbuckle and company on the offensive side for the Sooners, he runs behind his pads. He gets north and south. He's just reminds me of a small truck getting downhill at you. That's the kind of energy I need from Oklahoma in the run game. I don't need you, again, to have this massive day on the ground and we just make Tennessee bend to our will. Tennessee, as a defense overall, pretty good against the run, by the numbers at least. Couple of games, though, that make you raise an eyebrow. Kentucky, not awesome defending the run. Mississippi State. They got right against them defending the run. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. But that's one of those situations where I need to see something from Oklahoma on the ground because that's only going to elevate a one John Mateer. And in this game, you're going to have to score points. You say, JD, our defense is awesome. I know your defense is awesome. I totally hear that. I understand that. I respect that. But listen, Tennessee's going to score. Death, taxes, and Joey Aguilar throwing for 300-plus yards. It's the way that this whole thing works, man. And Josh Heupel is going to develop a script that is a thing of beauty here to start the game off. I'm talking Hallmark Christmas card good looking. It's going to be something to behold. And if I'm Tennessee, I'm watching that Ole Miss game and I'm rubbing my hands together. All right? What's his name? Spice Adams? Spice Adams? The Spice Adams meme is what we're doing here, watching Ole Miss with what they did last week. Ball is out quick. Now, I understand what Tennessee would like to do is run the football and then have some of that quick game and then work up to the deep shot plays downfield. That's all well and good. Those deep shot plays will have to develop a little bit quicker because this Oklahoma outfit gets to the freaking quarterback with bad intentions. R. Mason Thomas is a problem off the edge. I don't love having the whole three-step and a hitch-up for Joey Aguilar because by that second step, Mason Thomas might be in your living room, food for thought. But there's going to be a lot of catch, rock, throw, take advantage of space, take advantage of these wide splits. And we said this with Oklahoma last week, and it ended up being kind of the thing that killed them. Pressure is awesome as long as you get home. If you don't get home or you don't tackle well in space, guess what? There's a ton of green grass for the ball carrier to work with. And Tennessee's got a lot of guys that I think would probably start for Ole Miss tomorrow when it comes to the perimeter. Chris Brazzell being the number one guy for Tennessee, guy that's going to give you problems. The common denominator for problems for Oklahoma defensively speaking, in terms of the opponents they've played, has been great play callers, great offensive minds. Like, think about Steve Sarkisian in Red River. Got him. Lane Kiffin last week. Got him. Josh Heupel, to me, is up there in that trio of some of the best play callers in the sport offensively. That makes me nervous for Oklahoma. So I think Oklahoma's defense is still really good. They got to be opportunistic here. If you can turn Joey Aguilar over a little bit here, give Mateer some extra possessions, I like that world you could live in there if you're Oklahoma. Quiet the crowd down a little bit. That would be a good way to live. John Mateer still doesn't look right to me, just to keep it a buck. Now, I'm not a doctor. I have no idea what's going on in-house in Norman, so make that very clear. But I'm watching the guy play ball. He doesn't look like he's playing with that same level of reckless abandonment that made him a Heisman frontrunner early on in the season. And you know what I'm saying. I'm talking off-script Johnny Mateer. I'm talking throw my body around John Mateer. I'm talking we're looking to truck DBs. He's still playing with that same intensity, but you can tell he doesn't look quite as sure of himself. And I don't think it's a thing upstairs for him. I think it's he's not 100% sure what his body can take at this point in time relative to that injury. So that's something that I'm thinking about as I break this game down. If we get reckless John Mateer, if we get no more governor John Mateer on the overall approach for him, I think Oklahoma has every avenue to win this football game. Preseason, I was enormously high on Oklahoma. This season, I'm still very high on Oklahoma. I picked them to beat Ole Miss a week ago, and it went how it went, but I don't think that Oklahoma, as an overall outfit, is anything less than what we thought they were going to be going into the year. And I do think Xavier Robinson is going to find a way to get something going on the ground. I think Oklahoma actually scores in this game. With that being said, the problem with Tennessee is they're going to score at a pretty consistent clip. And if you want to beat Tennessee, you got to pack a lunch, pack a hard hat, get those like gross gels that runners eat when they go on marathon. It's going to be that kind of vibe for you. You got to have some stamina to you offensively. And the thing with Oklahoma is if they're going to win this game, it's going to take something against a Power 4 football team that we haven't seen yet to this point in the season. Oklahoma, the most points they've scored against a Power 4 team is 26. Okay? So if 26 is the number to beat it for Tennessee, Oklahoma's great offensively, but I don't feel great about Oklahoma holding them to less than that number, especially with it being in Neyland, with the black jerseys. All those things make me a little bit on edge. So Joey Aguilar, you play clean, you win the football game. You play on time, you win the football game. I think Oklahoma has a good day offensively. I think Tennessee has a better day offensively. Final score, 34-27. Vols win. Vols cover in Neyland. And don't look now, there was all this discussion about Nico Iamaleava leaving Tennessee, and can Tennessee just win 8 games? That'd be a good year. You're staring down the barrel of a college football playoff berth with 3 games left in the season. So Tennessee wins, they protect home field advantage, they cover, they keep their playoff hopes very much so intact.